Explained by the Billy Meier contacts. Mysteries, myths, legends, conspiracy theories, historical inaccuracies, and more. Compiled by David Chance, revised October 18, 2023.
Telepathy note. Some entries in this section relate to impulses sent from Billy's extraterrestrial contacts. Whether or not this is a form of telepathy is not clear to me. See also channeling for mediums, for psychics. See also fortune telling, divination, for clairvoyance. See also thoughts, thinking. See concepts, values and wise advice from the Billy Meier contacts. Contact Report 001.
Yet by way of thought transmission, which you call telepathy, I will get in contact with you and transmit more things to you.
Contact Report 002.
What about so-called UFO contactees, claiming that their friends from the stars would only communicate telepathically between themselves?
Certainly there are such creatures who only communicate telepathically. However, their communication was telepathic from the very beginning, or else they quite simply let their spoken language wither away.
Contact Report 034.
However, as I have explained to you before, such Earth humans who are capable of telepathy are very few in number, and they very rarely, if ever, come forward with their ability. You also know very well that every human is able to influence other human beings at unlimited distances in such a manner that they do exactly what they are commanded to do. You yourself have become mighty in these powers through the teachings of Svath and Asket. The time has now come for you when you are to steer such events in certain directions for the benefit of humankind. This means that you are to influence influential persons to take certain steps.
You demand a great deal from me, and besides, I have not done such things for years. I don't know if I can still do it.
It will, because if you have learned something, then it is always present to you.
Well, then I will try it, even if it doesn't suit me. Because I do not want to influence other people and let them dance according to my will.
There can be no question of that, and you should never do that either. You are to direct only certain events and influence them for the better, but only where it becomes an absolute necessity. In this case, see Patty Hearst kidnapping, the point is that you make sure that some certain people are led on a certain track. Otherwise, you should not influence certain events in the future. So you should not steer the events, but only influence them in such a form that very specific steps are taken, whereby very malignant degenerations cannot occur.
Contact Report 054.
Be a little careful when walking on the grass and step into my prints. We must not leave too many clues.
Of course, but this grass has really grown very tall.
Unfortunately, people will see the landing support imprints. That is not good. I cannot just eliminate the whole meadow to cover the tracks. But I will find a solution. Sim Yase's solution was to order the farmer through an impulsive telepathic urge to get up immediately and mow his meadow. A few weeks later, Billy spoke with the farmer and told him that he heard that the farmer had mowed his meadow at 3 HRs in the morning. The man confirmed this and explained that he had immediately awakened from a dream with the unconditional urge to mow his meadow. The urge was so strong that he immediately got up to do the work he had dreamed of, although he still did not really understand why he had done it.
Contact Report 062.
Sure. For example, Herbert Runkle, whose thoughts came to me about 3 weeks ago, or are they already 4? In such a loving form that I tried to show him my connection through the transmission of feelings.
Contact Report 065.
By my order, different members of your group and also outsiders were led by thought impulses to certain emotions. These were designed to grasp threatening events and to influence you in such a form that you do not undertake any major journeys in the near future, especially not those that are connected with lectures related to our existence. You yourself were also captured by these emotional impulses of your group members and consciously received them as well.
Contact Report 072.
Reasoning will smooth the path for you. And besides, we will also be sending out reason-bearing impulses to all of those who decisively want to take part in this in order to take care of the financial matter. We will be sending out impulses of truth, from which they will quite correctly recognize the truth and the necessity of the undertaking. There will be no coercion wielded because all, through their own reasoning and their own wills, have to make the decision.
Contact Report 073.
Last Saturday we talked about the center to be created, and suddenly, out of the blue, the property in Schmidruti, or Hinterschmidruti, that I had known since my childhood came to my mind, which was selected as suitable and which I had completely forgotten. How I suddenly came across it again is a mystery to me.
I wanted to help you a little and tried to find a suitable property for you. In these efforts, I also came across the property you mentioned then and found that it was exactly the right time to access it. So I let impulses penetrate you that reminded you of this predetermined property and urged you to inform yourself immediately afterwards, because it really is the predetermined building, and therefore the very best property and the most suitable place where you can build the center.
We thought something similar, because I could not really explain why I was reminded of it at just the right moment.
Contact Report 076 Manara. You shall be informed about it, but this shall only be after our conversation, which will later be telepathically repeated by me to you, and which you shall then write down. Contact Report 078.
Of course, and you do not have to mention any names either, because I know exactly what is being said and by whom. Often everything is told to me again, and very often I also pick up uncontrolled thoughts. But that does not bother me anymore, because I know damn well what I have to do and what it is all about, even if several others still do not seem to know about it and have not become clear about it.
Contact Report 081.
Yesterday, Simyase, did you think of any of us towards the late afternoon?
Of course, I was interested in your meeting, which is why I observed you for some time. I could see that you were very absorbed in your response when Elsie joined you. Her thoughts rushed to you, but you did not register them because you were busy elsewhere. So I tried to draw Elsie's attention with an impulse, but apparently I did not succeed. But why do you ask?
That is why. Elsie caught an impulse that was not from me, so it must have been from you.
She often receives impulses from me because she is very receptive to them.
Contact Report 086.
Emotional degenerations of a jealous form come very strongly to the fore, as this is clearly established, and
I know, because sometimes I caught quite wild thoughts from some of them, especially from... It was interesting to notice that these jealousy thoughts were mainly to be assigned to men, in a rather ambivalent way. On the one hand, people had already talked to me about it on various occasions, namely about the issues, whereby they explained to me that they had trust in me and no crooked thoughts. But on the other hand, at the same time, wild jealousy thoughts were chased out of the same brains, which had just expressed the opposite of it through words.
Contact Report 087.
well then, I would like to send you very dear greetings to all my friends, to whom I often direct my thoughts, but unfortunately there are only very few who are able to catch them in impulsive form.
Contact Report 091.
According to the Signer, the 4 ships with unknown whereabouts are older expedition ships, which unfortunately only have very limited means of remote communication on a technological basis. This means that the Signer here on Earth cannot communicate with their home planet, precisely because their means of remote communication cannot bridge the distance of 2,000 light-years. The maximum range of their devices is unfortunately less than 1,400 light-years.
But then they would be able to make a mental telepathic connection.
Unfortunately, this is not possible for them, because the Signer only master the primary telepathy, not the spirit telepathy.
Oh, so then they are planet-bound with this telepathy form.